What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Reacting Time. We're on episode 12 of Monogatari Shinobu off/monster season, whatever it's called, you know what it is. Okay, so lean in close, all right? Get yourself in a comfortable position, okay? Because we got the opening yap to get over, all right? You may be aware. I'll pull it up. Okay, so it's January 9th as I'm recording this at a clean 3 a.m. Which for the people that have watched like all my Monogatari videos, which, you know, shout out those people. It's kind of a, you know, but that's quite a feat. Okay, there's a lot of them, hoes. They would know that 3 a.m. is when I used to record most of the Monogatari videos. Cause, okay, and to get out of the way, this is about to be an opening yap. That's like I'm gonna pivot it into Monogatari talk, but we're gonna figure it out together. Okay. So if you're not trying to hear none of that, you can just jump ahead to the action. Right? Look at the timestamps in the description. You know how it goes. But yeah. So, I don't know, it's kind of nostalgic to be, like, recording again at 3 a.m., because I haven't done that in a long time, right? Usually I try to get a bit better about recording Monogatari at, like, not insane times, in, like, with the recent arc, like, with this current season. But before that, you know, 3 a.m. was very common. But either way, we got another one of these. The last recording was on December 2nd, so it's been over a month, which, if you remember, before that, the last recording was, let's see what we say here, was 3 weeks before that. So we've been on almost a monthly schedule for Monogatari, which, you know, is a bit of a downgrade from the twice a week that we were going strong for like a really long time there, right? And so I wanted to address that, you know? If it makes anyone feel better, the Monogatari was also the last thing I've recorded. So it's not that I've been specifically on break from Monogatari as much as I just haven't been recording much at all, period. Which is, you know, so it's more like one of those situations, right? And I was thinking about this. I was thinking about Monogatari a lot over like the last month. To give my list of excuses, which don't really mean anything, but it's always fun to say, is I got sick. Well, I had finals, and I was sick during finals, and I was sick like pretty bad for the week after, which really, you know, takes all the motivation out of someone when you're like not feeling great, right? So I kind of gave myself that, and then there was Christmas, and then there was New Year's, and then there was like a week, and then now I'm here, right? So, you know, I a little bit of busy stuff, but you know, I definitely could have made there was a lot of free time and I haven't done it. The question is kind of why, right? Why not? And the thing that I kept thinking about on that subject is, funnily enough, from Monogatari. So I'm going to pull it up. This is Owari Monogatari Season 2, Episode 1, right? This is probably my favorite, like, Chapter 1 intro in all of Monogatari, right? Because, like, every time they start a new arc, there's, like, that Chapter 1 intro, which is kind of, like, you know, it's distinct from, like, the parts that follow, and then usually the OP plays after it, right? And this is a part from probably which is my favorite of all of them, right? So I'll let it play first, and then I will talk about why I even am pulling it up at all, right? So, Season 2, Episode 1, Owari Monogatari, 42 seconds, 3, 2, 1, bang!
人間強度が下がるから。そんな口癖を懐かしく思い出せない。今の僕は弱い。弱々しくて弱々しくて。何より弱いと思うのは。
Right here.
そんな弱々しくなった。
That right there, I've thought about, unironically, like at least once a week for the last month, but like usually more than once. But just that idea of like, I don't hate how weak I am, you know? And like, it's no secret that I am literally Araragi for real, right? We're all aware of that, okay? And I think, like, it's really interesting to think about this line for Araragi as a character, because it really, like, it's such a pivot from his, like, willingness to die, you know? Because, like, earlier in this segment, he was talking about, like, why didn't I die for Hachikuji to see her again? Well, I felt like there were still things I had to do, you know? And then he talks about, like, oh, humans, you know, they're kind of so they're not so fleetingly minded to just die at the first thing that they feel like, right? They're not that like singularly motivated, you know. And then he retreats back to those old thoughts of his of, oh, I don't need any friends, etc. And he like does this like soft lament of his like status as a person, right? I'm weak as a human, but so delicate and fragile that I might break apart. And then the weakest thing about his weakness is that he doesn't hate it, right? So like he loves his weakness, you know? And then he has another good line, I think right after here. Right here, yeah. Rather, I hold this feeble self incredibly dear. That shit I've been thinking about on loop for a while now. And to give context, because this is kind of why, this is part of why I haven't been like doing that much YouTube stuff at all, right? It's like this idea of, I've been trying so hard personally to like enhance self-love, right? I've been like the freaking the herald of self-love, you know? So I'm trying so hard to like love myself and everything I do, so that like, because I feel like that would be the best way to live life, you know? That's kind of like a conclusion that I've somewhat reached, you know? And that's part of like Monogatari's honestly been a part of that like idea and has been a part of that journey, especially with like anti-self-sacrifice has been like a you know, very large part of the story, and especially Araragi's character, and that's something I've truly taken to heart, you know, which is a big pivot in my life. Like, it's crazy. I think Monogatari, I've said this probably a few times, but it's literally a life-changing piece of media for me, in multiple ways, right? One of my favorite ones is always Tsubasa Tiger. That really like got me at the perfect time. But there's this like this second thing about like moving away from self-abandonment, moving away from martyring oneself, from self-sacrifice, and into, you know, some more, like, something else, you know, something more self-fulfilling or something that can survive, you know? Not killing yourself, basically, right? That change in perspective, or, like, that change there, that pivot, is something that, like, I think I've experienced while I've been watching the show, you know, and with the show kind of as part of that. And the consequence of that, the consequence of moving from, like, a self-denying, self-sacrificial mindset into one that denies self-sacrifice and prioritizes yourself, the consequence of that has been, like, it's really hard to motivate myself, which is weird, you know? And I think it's because I see lack of motivation as a weakness, right? I see, like, laying around in bed, sleeping in, staring at a wall for, like, hours at a time, which low-key I kind of do. I'll just, like, listen to music and just, like, stare absent-mindedly into space. That's, like, pretty common for me to do, you know? Or, like, in the shower. I will literally sit in the shower for, like, an hour at a time. And, like, in the past, especially when I was, like, you know, the twice a week Monogatari, almost daily uploads while I was in class, like, your boy was on your boy had the nose to the grindstone, you know? And in a way, I think how I approached that was like in a self-sacrificial mindset, you know? Where I was like, oh, I'm sacrificing my time, I'm sacrificing my energy, and, you know, other things as well in order to make these videos, you know? And you could say that I'm sacrificing that for, like, people that watch them. You could say I'm sacrificing that for attention. You could say I'm sacrificing that because I enjoy doing it, whatever. But, like, it has to do with that sacrifice. And so recently, as I think I've started to fully internalize, like, self-love, I've run into the problem of not, like, it's so hard for me to sacrifice things anymore, you know? Because I hold this feeble self incredibly dear. Like, literally, and that's why I say I've literally been thinking about this OP, or, like, this intro for, like, a while. Like, every time I've thought about recording, I'll just be like, I just kind of don't feel like it. And then that weakness, because me not feeling like it is weak, it is a failure to do what I want to do, that failure I hold to myself incredibly dear, you know? And so I'll look at, like, a comment, because, you know, I'll get a couple comments. I got a few really nice comments, actually. There's one that comes to mind. I won't pull it up, but I got, like, a really nice comment about, like I really like your channel. It's I feel like, you know, a little bit of a diamond in the rough. Like, I wish you had more subs or whatever. I noticed you haven't been uploading recently at all, and that, you know, that's kind of unfortunate. Blah blah blah. so like I've been getting nice comments about that. I've getting comments being like, "Where'd your boy go?" I've been getting, Discord. The Discord will be like, "This guy hasn't done anything in forever. This guy is skipping everything. This guy sucks," And it's lighthearted, so it's not a big deal. But I'll get those comments about my failure, and it doesn't like hurt me anymore. And it doesn't motivate me against. It doesn't feel like failure almost, right? It's like I know that I failed, but because it's my failure, I love it, and that means that I hold it dear to me because I try to love myself in everything. I've tried to like cast out any inkling of motivation that comes from weakness, that comes from distaste for oneself, right? It's like the carrot and the whip. Is the carrot driving the donkey forward, or is the whip driving the donkey forward? Pleasure or pain? I've tried to cut out all sources of pain in motivation, and I'm left with like very little to kind of keep me going, And this thought keeps coming to mind. And so that's a large part of, I think, why I haven't been uploading very much, Not that I even need to like defend myself or anything, because it's not like I do technically have a Patreon, but like I don't have a schedule. I'm just a guy that makes videos sometimes. You know what I mean? I never even really wanted to open a Patreon that much. That's kind of a tangent. I won't get into all that. That's just me trying to like gain moral high ground or some shit. Who cares? Who cares, Omega Lol? However, all that said, right, about like motivation and the consequence of self-love, which I think is something that like, so I kind of like want to rewatch a lot of Monogatari with that in mind to see if it like links up with Araragi too well. With that in mind, like I like watched this intro before I started recording, and I was really intrigued about like how he follows this up here. So he says that he holds his feeble self incredibly dear, right? And then boom, shout out Hachikuji. But there might be someone out there who cannot forgive me for becoming weaker. And so he pivots external, right? So it goes from like I love my own weakness, but there might be someone out there who cannot forgive my weakness. And so then it's like then I should be strong for them, Let's see if there's another line here that's fire. And then he just talks about like plot stuff, right? I kept on living, but I ultimately can't ignore that glare telling me I might as well die. That's just Senjugahara, yeah? And then what's up, Ogi? But yeah, that pivot I find very interesting. And like I kind of want to try to think about that myself, of maybe the answer to loving your weakness, even if you like, because you don't want to be weak, but like you love it, so you kind of can't stop it anymore, is to be strong for someone else, So just pivot from like that internal thing into like an external thing, right? Yeah, because if you love your weakness, you'll also love your strength, and so you could pivot externally, and then they would say, "Hey, be strong," and then you would do it for them because you love them, and you'd be willing to kill your weakness for your strength because they love your strength, and so you have like 2 versus 1. Does that make any sense? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? But basically, yeah. So that's something I've been thinking a lot about. I've been thinking about Monogatari a lot, even if I haven't been recording it. And we are changing that today. I'm finally breaking the recording curse. This is my first recording in like a month. And that's kind of, I think, it may in fact be the longest gap I've ever had in uploads or in recordings within like the last 4 years of my life, which is a long time. That's a long time to be alive. And so it's crazy how like I spend a month not doing this thing, and it's like, wow, I've really dedicated like a month break from a thing is like the longest I've spent away from a thing for 4 years. I've really dedicated that much time to this, It's a crazy thought. But anyways, that's something that's been in my mind a lot recently. And so I'm going to try. I'm obviously recording this. I'm excited to watch the show again. I'm going to have to do the same thing that I did last episode where I like rewatch. I'm going to have to rewatch episode 11 by myself real quick. To even get back into this, to even remember the plot, because like, I mean, I'd probably still be able to follow it okay, but boy, I want to be locked in for the show, right? So I'll do I'll record it and then speed up the footage. You already know how it goes of me watching episode 11, I am excited to see what happens with Deathtopia and Shinobu and all this. And then is this the comments I was thinking of? Yeah, I haven't actually read these comments yet because basically Pog, but I will in a second, and shit's about to be lit. Yeah, that's basically the situation. I don't know. Feel free to give any thoughts on that. That's the intro yap. Now we go into the Monogatari yap. So I'm going to watch episode 11. I will see you in a minute. Bye-bye. Alright, I'm back. So I just rewatched myself yapping to remember what the frick I was even thinking. Cinema. So, new thought conjoined to my previous yapping, which was basically the thought that Deathtopia, so she landed with Hachikuji, right? And then she left Hachikuji to go, and then ran into Kei, who's the basketball girl, and then things go wrong, or maybe right, and the basketball girls start becoming mummies, and so is Deathtopia. And Deathtopia is buried on the mountain. Basically, that's the situation, right? One thought about that, because one of the things I was hung up on here is that Deathtopia, or it's like, why would Deathtopia ever stop and talk to the basketball girls? Why would that ever make sense, right? Because that was one of my reasons of like, surely Deathtopia wanted to be a mummy and isn't just like a victim. And it's not like, I can't see that she got like the script flipped on her, and that she's a victim, because why would she stop and talk to the girls, right? I feel like she talked to them because there was a deeper plan there. One reason for how that could have happened is that Hachikuji is literally the god of the lost, right? Of guiding the lost. So, which was something in the comments actually, about how I was saying something about children is too young to account for the teenage girls. Yeah. Not true at all, and I run that statement back absolutely, because yeah, Araragi literally is guided by Hachikuji all the time. So for me to say like it doesn't account for the teenage girls, I would actually completely rewind that and say that maybe it's the case that Hachikuji does account for the teenage girls, and them being so lost because they weren't happy with their life, so they're kind of lost in what to do to like, you know, continue living. Maybe Hachikuji was able to, like, as a god, feel that as a problem with the basketball girls, and then Deathtopia shows up, they talk, Hachikuji mentions it to Deathtopia, they come up with a plan. Boom. Right? And that would also still maybe be attached to Deathtopia having, like, an empathetic bond, because she cares about her own relationship with Kiss Shot / Shinobu / Acerola, and so maybe, because that's something I say here in the last episode of, like, oh, maybe that's why Deathtopia cares about the basketball girls, is that it reminds her of her relationship with Acerola back in the day, right? So yeah, that could have been something with Hachikuji. The thing about that is that means that wouldn't have to mean that Hachikuji is lying to us, either directly or by omission, by not saying what's going on. And she kind of already was doing that, but now she would be doing it even more and like more explicitly. So that's a thought. The thing is, I trust Hachikuji implicitly, so even if she is, I'm just gonna trust her, you know? It's also really interesting that I noticed in the episode 11, when I was just rewatching it, that Shinobu and Hachikuji called Gon in. Gon said she was super bored when she was called to, like, come hang out, basically. She says something like that. So that makes me, like, you know, it's like, why would Hachikuji call Gon over, you know? And, like, Shinobu calling Gon over? Like, Shinobu, you know that Deathtopia is not, like, accounted as, like, a safe vampire. So calling Gon over is kind of crazy, no? Right? So I would lean towards that being a Hachikuji move, in which case I trust that Hachikuji's got some plans with Deathtopia going on, right? So, yeah. That's kind of where I'm at loosely there. Something's going on, and I think this is Deathtopia's plan, but I don't know exactly why, right? It's mostly a why situation. But yeah. Let me read some of these comments. Bro, my throat's been so messed up recently, I can't even believe it. Oh no. Oh no, this comment. No, guys, no. I can't believe it came true. How did I let this come true? Oh no, it says, I'll never believe this guy again. See y'all in a month. And he was right. It's been a month. No. Oh. Oh my god, you were right not to trust me. I literally at the start of the episode was like, I'm back, guys. I'm in it. We're about to be lit. And this guy's like, nah, see y'all in a month. And then he was right. Nicholas was right. Oh no. I'm gonna pin that message, I think. I'm gonna pin it. That's mucked up. That is a mucked up message to read right now. Don't you just love it when you're perfectly read like a book? Yeah. All right. Anyways, so the reason this arc is named Mustard is because Deathtopia is looking for that Shinobu mustard. Okay. Okay. So this comment, I haven't even read any of these. I'll read the long ones in a second. Bro's going crazy. Bro's posting essays. We'll get to that in a second. Kung Fu Panda 2, Justin Bieber, I'm the first, skull emoji. All right, let me read these long ones real quick. Okay, so these are really good ideas. I really like these ideas. So, potential plot twist from the comments is Kay is alive still. She's not a mummy. Because the first zombie found was another student disguised as Kay. Kay is the culprit. You can't recognize her face, right? It's just a card, a phone, their school uniform, and maybe the hair. That could absolutely be true. That's a really good point. And I mean, the new timeline would be... the timeline doesn't feel... Like, I would adjust this timeline a little bit. But it's, like, so Deathtopia meets Hachikuji. Having some kind of address before going to meet Kishot, successfully turns Kay into a vampire, but doesn't drink enough to feed herself. So that would both accept that she causes the vampirization, but also that she's still a gourmet, which is what Shinobu was yapping about. And then, while still weak, gets beaten by a newborn vampire, so Kay, and then Kay buries her because she doesn't know to eat her or not, and then Kay starts attacking other people, right? I think that it just, and you kind of, the comment even says, there's something weird about Deathtopia turning anyone into a vampire after she decided not to do it again at the end of the Bon Appetit arc. That's kind of my problem, is that, like, why would she turn Kay into a vampire at all? And then why would she, like, surely she would, like, I mean, she immediately, while still weak, gets beaten by a newborn vampire. Like, is she just gonna, that's just such a big risk. Is she just gonna let that happen? You know what I mean? So there needs to be a second reason why, you know? And it could be that, you know, Deathtopia talked to Hachikuji, and then Hachikuji and told Deathtopia about the basketball girl situation, and then Deathtopia pulls up, turns Kay into a vampire because Kay wants to be a vampire, because Kay wants to escape from her own life, right? But then why would Kay immediately backstab her? You know, while still weak, gets beaten by a newborn vampire. Why would Kay do that if Deathtopia just helped her out? It's like, I feel like there's gotta be some intentionality from Deathtopia in with all of this, right? Where she knew she would get beaten up. Because, like, think about it. Gets buried on the mountain, you know? She got buried in the random mountain, which was Hachikuji's mountain. Like, low-key, that's just send her back to the freaking, back to sender, right? That's literally just sending her back to Hachikuji, which sounds like something she would want to happen if she and Hachikuji were working together. So, both that, Kay attacking her and burying her in the mountain feels like such a coincidence unless it was intentional. So that's a thought, but I do think that it is possible that Kay's walking around still. Or not necessarily, she doesn't even necessarily need to be a, well, no, she kind of does, Gon was saying it, that she needs to be a vampire specifically. Because who's to really say? You know what I mean? Like, usually they're not turned into mummies, right? They're turned into zombies. Or like, right? And the mummy thing feels kind of unique. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there was like some other element of oddity going on. Oh, and then also in the last episode, like, Shinobu said, like, I don't know what a prime number is. Like, Deathtopia's not going to know what a prime number is. And that's a good point, too, that the codes couldn't have been written by Deathtopia, because why would Deathtopia, like, make those kinds of codes? Like, that would be it would make a lot more sense for a high school girl to do that. So I'd probably have to agree with that. In which case, but, like, it's so crazy to me to imagine that Deathtopia gets the script flipped on her if she's going out of her way to interact with the gym girl, with the basketball girl, right, with Kay. It makes me think that there's, I don't know. That very well could be the case that Kei's still walking around. That would be a really good plot twist. That would make a lot of sense. But yeah. And then this separate thing is basically saying Gon's freaking don't trust her. You know what I mean? Especially, I think this is a good point of... now I'm thinking she's even lying to waste even more time. I mean, look at this. Buried in dirt, on the street, on her bed, inside a shack, at the bottom of a reservoir with fucking weights attached to her. The last one is so out of place, even before you think about how stupid it is to leave a note besides that one, not even beside the body, you can't expect a phone to work that deep in the water. That's a really good point, too. Because it was claimed that it was a phone. Bottom of the lake, phone? Excuse me? You know? So that doesn't even really make sense. And then maybe even the living note was something made up, is a thought. So that could be just wasting time, and there is a good reason for Gon to waste time because Kagenui's flying in from freaking Antarctica or whatever, and then Kagenui could just walk up to Deathtopia and go bink, you know? Well, not, she wouldn't go bink. She would go bam, bam, you know? It's Ononoki that goes bink. She goes wah, right? So yeah, that is a thought at 2. I definitely don't trust Gon ever, and you probably never should trust Gon because Gon's kind of the worst. And so, and is it the case that she's making up clues to distract Araragi to get Kagenui here in time? That could very well be the case. And Araragi, I think when I just watched the episode, was under the impression that Kagenui would show up tomorrow, or like the day. I think it was tomorrow. I think Kagenui was supposed to show up after Deathtopia would have been awake. Okay, that was me accidentally skipping into the middle of the new episode or the next episode I haven't watched. I'll tell you what I just saw. I saw Hachikuji, and that's about all I saw. It says something about my mind. I thought I had episode 11 up. That was episode 12. It says something about my mind that the only thing I recognized from that scene was Hachikuji, and I immediately realized that this is a scene with Hachikuji that I haven't ever seen before, and that's what got me out of there. That's funny. Anyways. I also like this thought of, I noticed Gon trying to talk about why Deathtopia was even able to pass a barrier, and I felt like she was trying to say that Hachikuji let her in, so it's kind of her fault, and she's a reckless god, and she can use this against her later. She's annoyed by Hachikuji. Yeah, that definitely could be the case too. Because, well, I think Araragi floated the idea that, you know, Deathtopia's kind of that girl. She can just brute force her way into a barrier. But Hachikuji did explicitly say, I didn't sense any malintent, and I didn't judge her by her cover. So it does kind of seem like Hachikuji let her in. So I would agree with that for sure. Yeah. Also the fortune, if Hachikuji only tells her to give Araragi one of those fortune things without opening it, then it's not against Gon. In that fortune, there was a section saying it's risky to dance to someone else's tune. I think that was towards Gon, and if it was, Hachikuji's still keeping an eye on her. So there's a chance she didn't say some things she couldn't say in front of Gon. That would give a reason to why Hachikuji's omitting information and is being careful with what she says. But wasn't Gon literally specifically brought in? I don't even have the episode because I closed episode 11 for some reason. Yeah, it literally... I have it right here. Let me just go here. This has suddenly become very relevant. That Gon was brought in right here. I was bored, and I didn't know what to do. They contacted me in my boredom. That's that line. You can't read it that well because YouTube's in the way. But they contacted me in my boredom. So it's like, why would you do that, you know? So Hachikuji keeping an eye on Gon, maybe? And then they're trying to pivot the blame off of Deathtopia back to the true culprit. But, yeah, I don't know. It just feels there's some shit going on, man. That's really the end all be all. There's some shit going on. I think I can believe that Gon's purposefully wasting time. I could definitely see that. Well, I guess that's the question. It kind of depends what the answer is to this next thing, because we're about to go get the answer to the next clue that we just got, like the next code. And it would be funny because Gon literally said, like, I know everything, but I'm not that good with codes. So that'd be a funny way for her to, like, coyly be, like, being like, actually, I'm the one that wrote this, but I'm going to pretend not to know anything about codes. That would be funny. So I'm very curious what the information will be from that, because it could lean into Gon purposefully sending Araragi on a goose chase for Kagenui. But if it's not that, right, then and it's like all genuine codes and stuff, then it's like, why is Kay leaving those behind, or whoever the culprit is, whoever the true culprit is, because it can't be. Well, no, it probably isn't Deathtopia because Deathtopia is a gourmet, so she wouldn't, right? That's the idea. The thing is, that's yes, but also, and I kind of said this. What if she's just sucking the blood and then spitting it out or something? You know, she doesn't necessarily need to be drinking it because, and then her being here at the shrine isn't a good enough alibi because, she could all the bodies we found post like way later, you know, so she could have done all this in like a week ago or like 5 days ago. She only arrived back at Hachikuji's like yesterday or today, I think, depending on what I think Hachikuji kind of said both yesterday or today, depending on like what time of day it was, you know. So I think logistically it could be Deathtopia, but when it comes to her character, the question why we don't really have a good answer to, especially with the gourmet stuff going on. And then if it's not her, then it has to probably be someone from the basketball group. Kay's a good. I really like this idea where it's Kay and the real zombie's a fake, or the first zombie found was another student disguised as Kay. I like that idea, quite a lot. It could have also just been another basketball student because, you know, a lot of them were malcontent. So who knows? But Kay would make the most sense because she's the most relevant, or she's the most like notable of them all, right? Because she was the start of the arc. So I don't hate that idea at all. But then why would Deathtopia do that? Maybe because Hachikuji was like, hey, can you help me out, like, as a favor, you know? But then why would Deathtopia help her out? You know? I don't know. Just because of empathy? That's kind of the best I got. So I think there's something going on. I don't know exactly why. That's what we got. Let's just get into it. Episode 12. Let's get going. In a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang. Do I have my subtitles on? I do. There we go. Yo, why are we doing this POV driving? What's going on, Aragi? Oh, what's up, Shinobu? I thought you were taking a nap. I don't think Suicide Master's trying to eat her. I don't think that would make sense. She wouldn't do anything with the basketball girls if she was. And she just wanted to get, she was worried about Shinobu. We got to see that she was motivated to come here because she thought Kishot would get killed or whatever. No, it'll be fine. Oh man, what if she dies? What if Deathtopia dies at the end of the arc? I could see that maybe. Because she could be considered as harmless because she's a gourmet. What? Do you think she could never be seen as a... Oh shoot. Man, she's so hot in that form. Literally most attractive. I'm gonna be real. Okay, I like that. Dang. She wants to be the okay, I withheld. Not JK. She wants to be the dom in the relationship for the night. I get that. Switch gang. I get that. I get that personally. All right, that makes sense. All right, you can't. It gets stale if it's always you're the master, I'm the slave. All right, let me be the master once in a while. Okay, it's kind of mucked up otherwise. Come on, power dynamics. Okay, right? You get a slice of my pie. I get a slice of yours. Nerd. I love this OP. I really like this stylization of OPs. Why is it... That looked like Deathtopia getting thrown off a cliff into water. I kind of need to look at this again. I feel like I didn't look at that closely enough. Though I did last episode. Maybe I did. I don't know. Shinobu mustard. Okay.
カンバル悪いんだけどちょっとくれないあと一晩家を貸して。
Okay.
おいくら？今夜僕の奴隷になって手料理を作ってくれ。
Sodachi's in this hoe? Failed to get Sodachi as a slave. That's okay. I wouldn't want her as a slave. I would want her as a partner. What's up? You want to be my slave?
僕より早く着席していたやつに早いねと言われてもな。ほら、暗号の解読またお願いしてもいいか？
What do you think of this one? These sounds are freaking me out. Also, like, there's no way Deathtopia is going to be tapping on a cell phone. You know what I mean? She doesn't know how to work that shit. She's a boomer.
そうだね。ほんで、今回は数字だけなんだね。解けたっちゃ解けた。
Okay.
昨日のあれと同じで、今度のもアルファベットだった。
アルファベット
What does it spell? No, it's gonna be something else, dumbass. Yeah, it's not gonna spell the same thing. FC.
FC
Fooly Cooly. Isn't that a show? K is with a K.
携帯電話にメッセージを残したのはそういうほのめかしもあったのかな。
FC.
ほら、お揃いのイニシャルのストラップ。
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe it's a person.
そういえばそうでしたね。
ちなみにカングーちゃんもストラップをつけていたよ。カングーミサゴだから KM だ。
So maybe FC is like the perpetrator, or FC is like another victim or something.
僕たちの探している吸血鬼はまさか。
Yeah, that's a good thought, but why would it be just some random that's FC?
思いついただけの仲間の名前を書こうとしただけかもしれないし、これもそう思わせるための偽装かもしれない。スーサイドマスターの偽装工作という可能性だってあるさ。
ですよね。部員の中に吸血鬼がいるだなんて。
It's way too unexpected to be the truth.
その可能性を否定した覚えもない。今のところは可能性の相
I mean, I could see it. I just don't know why.
FC なんてイニシャルは珍しそうだから100名いる女子バスケットボール部員の中でも
Oh, true, yeah.
絞り込めるんじゃないのかな。
Probably just one.
参考までに聞かせてもらっていいかい、コヨミン。暗号解読の手順を。
I got a buddy. It doesn't matter.
でも今回の暗号は数字パズルではありません。素数も絡んでいませんでした。理系は理系でも数学ではなく理科の分野です。自然科学、摂氏と可視でした。
ああ、だから F と C。
What?
だけど820、280。
What's okay? You're losing me, dog. 82 in Fahrenheit is 28 in Celsius or some shit. I don't know.
斜め上にどう表す丸がつきます。
Okay, the circle.
乗数を書くのと同じ位置。
その丸をゼロと解釈する。
Yeah, yeah.
つまり暗号文にあるすべての数
Is the circle?
820のゼロ。
So it's 82 degrees, 28 degrees, 61 degrees, 16 degrees.
160のゼロを数字ではなく記号だと判断する。
Sure, nice.
820
Is 82 in Fahrenheit 28 in Celsius? And is 61 in Fahrenheit 16 in Celsius? That would kind of line up, no?
となるんだよ。はあはあ、最高気温と最低気温か。だから FC が暗号文に対する回答文ってわけだ。おっと、イニシャルじゃ文とは言えないの。しかしなるほどね。
But why?
よくこんなこと思いつくな。
And why code it so much? You know, you wouldn't code it if you were drowning, like what Gon said earlier. That, like my fading consciousness. Yeah, exactly. Like, this shit is planted. I'm drowning. Let me real quick talk about how cold the water is. 28 degrees. Say none. That'd be funny. And then what does it mean? We're getting trolled. Yo, what is Gon? Can we like lock in for like 5 seconds? What does that mean? Kagenu is here ahead of schedule. Yo, did you see her? Sorry?
今のところ大した成果もないってんだから心が折れるところだ。
Just use her. It's face. You unlock it with her face. So just put her mummy face up to it. It'll unlock.
現役時代はショートカットだったけれど、運動部だからじゃなくて、まさかカンバルの真似をしてみんな似たような髪型ってことはないよな。
Was the commenter right?
みんな似たような。
たくあんなドロドロした人間関係を見せられれば。
It was a good idea.
怖くもなんともないな。まあ女子バスケットボール部が特殊だってのもあるんだろうけれどね。これが一般例だとはさすがに思いたくない大人として。不思議な部活動だね。自分たちで自分たちをいじめているようなものだった。まずいな。女子高生のコロニーに覚悟もなく踏み入って。
Did you like not like?
底なしの間に足を取られている間に。
Okay.
来ちゃうよ。
僕がそう思うのは仕方ないと
I
して。
saw it looked so pretty in that shot.
あの人、まるっきりあなたの言うことに従わないってわけでもないんでしょう。
さてそこだ。確かに事情を説明すればスーサイドマスターを退治する必要はないという理屈は立つかもしれない。
Nice.
今まで幼女化したスーサイドマスターなら無害認定も可能かも。実際ス
Okay.
ーサイドマスターは結界を力づけて
Could you let her in? I'm fine with that.
単に結界が反応しないほど。
Oh, that's a good thought. Wow, I like that too. She was so weak that she slipped under it.
女子高生の血を吸うことくらいはできるだろうから、この町にいるってだけでスーサイドマスターが筆頭の容疑者であることに違いはないんだがね。しかしミイラ化していた理由は何者かに襲撃を受けたからではなく、いよいよ弱体化に限界が来て自ら官民に入ったという見方もできる。官民にして島民にして他人の吸血鬼だ。
She might have covered herself in dirt to protect herself from the sun.
ハチクジちゃんのところに戻ろうとし、
Is that the idea here?
という線かな。まあこれも総当たりの可能性だが。 Is
that what she was trying to say? She lost against her own hunger and assaulted high school girls. Yeah, me. I almost had to pause the video after that. Okay, sorry. Clutch. What does that mean?
問題と大問題。
たとえスーサイドマスターが今回の犯人でなくても、それでも影縫いを止めることはできない縁。正義を標榜することが唯一歯止めとなっているあの外道の陰陽師が今回だけは支援で動きかねない。
Personal grudge? What does that mean? They used to square up? What? I will be first to oh, I thought that said exterminate, not excommunicate. She doesn't. Okay. Interesting. So Gon is claiming to be kind of pro Deathtopia right now and is worried about Kagenui coming in and killing her. Interesting. Did not expect that. Then what does FC mean? Fun crime. Free. Club? Fan club? A fan club for Kombaru? Kombaru fan club? They all had their hair styled the same way? That's a thought. So maybe all of them were part of the fan club and that's what bound them together, specifically. How many people are in it? So yeah, maybe that's the only thing that connected them. That's a good idea. Though she wasn't a member. Okay. Which I assume Karen. I wouldn't mind. Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's funny. She was probably thinking about Tsukihi and being like, oh, I hope you're not talking about Tsukihi because I'm kind of busy right now. Ononoki doing that right now, yeah? I don't remember if that's exactly how that works, but or with the timelines, but she was. That's probably why she looked that way. Oh, it's so dodgy. That'd be really. That's probably why she was like, I hope you're not talking about Tsukihi. Kombaru out on her runs. Oh, I thought that was the end of the episode. I almost freaked out. I want to see Sodachi, man.
よ、カレンちゃん。ところで、カンバルのファンクラブに
Why were the shoes just flying like that? These... No, the shoes are off your feet, bro. I saw them. They just hadn't landed yet. Yo, what? Alright. She's just yapping. Is this a... we're in a boxing gym? Alright. Okay, so it's not active. Did Kay have that type of hair when we saw her? Originally in episode 1? I wonder. Well, no, you'd be burned by the sun. You can't just nonchalantly attend. But sure. Could be like on the roster, sure. Okay.
そうだ、もう一個いいか、カレンちゃん。なんだよ。カレンちゃんが月日ちゃんと共に活動していたファイヤーシスターズって、お前の卒業と同時に解散したじゃん。あれってその後どうなったんだっけ？どうなったもこうなったも、前に言ったろ。今は月日ちゃんが一人でムーンファイヤーだったかな。
Moonfire? Yeah.
女子バスケットボール部と同じように主軸であり核であったカレンが抜けた後の津軽国中のコミュニティがその後どんな変遷をたどったかなのだが、月日のパートナーという後釜を狙っての抗争が起きたり派閥争いがあったりはしなかったのだろうか。その辺は参謀担当の月日ちゃんがうまくやってたみたいだぜ。月日ちゃんは良くも悪くも自分を特別だと思ってるから、私も含めて他のやつに自分の真似ができるなんて思っちゃいなかったんだろう。
Okay.
ふむ。末の妹のその自意識と自意識過剰はよっぽど心配だけど。
It's an interesting tangent. What a... Oh, Tsukihi's room.
カンバレは努力家のスーパースターにありがちなように自己評価がかなり低いから、自分にできることは頑張れば誰にでもできると信じている節がある。カンバルが悪いわけじゃないと分かってはいても、今の女子バスケットボール部の現状はそんな努力信仰で形成された風土なのだろう。
And they're not able to like match that, match the results. Transporting? Huh? Oh, we're bringing her to the hospital?
大悟のミイラはまだ作られてないってことになるのかな。
どうでしょうね。神様になりたての私の目がこの町の隅々まで滞りなく行き届いているようなら、そもそもこんな事件は起こっていないと思います。
Okay, well now she could say anything.
スーサイドマスターさんを通過させたことを後悔しているわけではありませんが。
She could say anything because Gon's not here, so... Hello?
もしもし。
Hello? Is that Gon on the phone? Hang up. Hang up. Turn the car around.
なんだ、進展があったか。
進展ではなく交代でしょうか。FC のイニシャルのことは置いておいて、総当たりローラー調査が終わったらしいんですが、しかし全員の無事が確認された。
Everyone's safety?
結構なことじゃないか。
What does that mean? What do you mean everyone's safety?
そのことほぐべき同胞のどこが交代なんだ？
無事ということは無罪という意味でもあるんですよ。調査の結果、バスケットボール部員の中に
None of the basketball team members are vampires. Yo, wait, Deathtopia, just wake up. Explain this shit. Give me some exposition, please. What do you mean none of them are vampires? It was just all Deathtopia? I mean, I'm fine with that. Okay, so one of them two, Higasa? But why? Oh my goodness. They're meeting to talk about their underclassmen? Okay, so now one of these people have to be it. But why would Deathtopia have met with any of them? That seems to be an even bigger jump of... Is this the same place that Hachikuji and,
お待たせ。
Araragi kissed that one time? I don't know if this is the same place.
始めよっか。
Yo, what are we doing? Why is she tied up like that? Shinobu, what are you wearing?
ぐるっと一周この屋敷の周りに結界を張ってきたから、万が一バトル展開になったとしても大丈夫だよ。
その万が一だけは避けたいですね。
You put up a barrier? I didn't know you could do that,
そ
Gon.
の一升瓶は
一応これでも専門家なんでね。吸血鬼にはワインの方がいいんだけれど。
Are we doing a wine waterboarding? What is going
鬼に
on?
はお水と行こうかと。まったく私の自慢の姉を拒絶した。
Oh, this is just the Kombu house?
私がこうしてお邪魔することがあろうとはね。
I
因
see.
果ってのは巡る巡る。
Okay, so we're not going to the hospital. We're going here instead because... Why?
なあ
Wait, did I miss that?
忍様
Oops. Because I know they're doing the Higasa thing. Shinobu, what is going on?
ああ、わしのことか。我が主様。
Yo, not my master. I'm your master right now. Yeah, exactly. Or the other way. Yeah, that's what she said.
まあいいや。なあ、忍様。我が主様。私めからお尋ねしてもよろしいでございましょうか。これまであんまり深く考えて
I mean, what if it's just Shinobu LMAO? I don't know why.
どんな感じなんだ
I just got bored and wanted to munch on someone. Imagine.
私め自身のお話をさせていただきますと、
That wouldn't make any sense,
振り返るだけでも変遷があったと思うわけでございますよ。
普通に
Oh,
話
it's
せ
so dodgy.
何を言うておるのかさっぱりわからん。
生きているうちに意見が変わったり気持ちが変わったり
Oh, those are cute
間
pieces
違い
of
に気づい
jewelry.
たり正しさを
And each of them are
するわけじゃない
representative of like the different character
友
arcs.
達
Or...
は作らない
Ooh, baby
下
Araragi.
がるからなんて言ってた頃はそれを僕は本気で信じていたわけだし
I kind of want those pieces of jewelry. I want the
普通
cat.
に友達ができることなんてその頃は信じられなかったと
Wow, yeah. That's good proof of his development.
話されても何を言っておるのかさっぱりわからんの。わしは覚えきれん過去をズバズバ切り捨ててきたからな。そもそも怪異は不死身である以前に不変で不変じゃ。人間みたいにコロコロ変遷したりはせんわい。
じゃああの春休みに聞いたことをもう一度聞くぜ忍お前にとって人間って何だ
Oh shit, we're getting real right now.
かつてまだ推しの忍じゃなかった頃の推しの忍はまだ吸血鬼だった頃のキスショットアセロラオリオンハートアン
Are you gonna remind me what she said?
この質問に
Please remind me what she said. My ass don't remember Kizu that well.
食料と即答した
Okay.
食らうものよ。すするものよ。這うものよ。
Yo, what is going on?
聖なる日が没した今こそ、棺桶を引き裂き、蘇ら。
She's speaking some rituals to get her to wake up.
肉を血で煮込み、骨でかき回せ。夜と共に来たれ。デストピアビルトオーゾ。
I'm curious about what Shinobu's answer is gonna be. Yo, oh my goodness, what is going on? She's getting like a super boost. What is that? Just a black shadow to because she's nude? I appreciate that. Okay, hi. Oh yeah, that's probably what that is. I thought it might have been a new outfit for a second. What is so funny, man? You're freaking me out, man. Oh, she laughing too. Shinobu found that funny. Shinobu, you never answered my question. Hey, look, we're both little now. What happened? Hey y'all, I'm glad y'all are having a good reunion, but like, can we like talk exposition? I'll let it slide. Y'all are having fun. I love y'all's relationship, so... Alright, explain yourself. We can't just keep yapping. Good line. Good line. Good line.
お互い年を
That's a funny line with them both being younger. Or like looking younger. And yeah, we got a lot older, didn't we? Don't end the episode, please. It's fine. It's fine. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you because I can, you know what I mean? I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. Huh. I don't think Shinobu's part of the planning. That just doesn't make sense. Because Shinobu's been in the city. I'd argue when he goes to college, does he leave the bounds of the city? Because if the college is outside the bounds of the city, then maybe when Araragi and Shinobu were outside the city, and then Deathopia met Shinobu already, but like, we're just, yeah, no, there's no way. I don't think so. And I don't even know how they would meet without Araragi knowing. I'm glad she's alive. Deathopia is alive and well. Shout out to Deathopia, bro. I love Deathopia. I really do ship them. Like that arc. Well, when they're adults, I don't want to ship them when they look young. That's weird. But when they were full fledged, that shit was some good. That was some good shit, man. So it's okay. Well, okay. So if we're going with the plot twist that the commenter said about maybe Kay faked her own death, it wouldn't work anymore, would it? Because they checked every single basketball person and confirmed that the rest are good, other than the missing ones, right? Isn't that what they confirmed? Maybe there's no fifth one, because they still haven't found the fifth body, right? Maybe there is no fifth mummy, because the fifth mummy is the one that Kay had used instead of herself. Right? Because there's 100 basketball people. There's 5 mummies. Or so there are 5 missing students, right? And so we brute force checked the 95 other basketball students. This is my understanding of what Gohan did. We brute force checked the other 95 students and confirmed that they're all good and safe. Right? Which also confirmed that they're not vampires. Because they've been like acting normal or whatever. Right? Like going to school or whatever. I assume something like that. That's what I took out of that whole scene. And so yeah. And so what that would mean is that it's funny. She literally was like, "I'm gonna go talk to." Araragi was like, "I'm gonna go talk to Karen. Karen will help this." I don't understand what anything we talked about with Karen means anywhere. I did not get anything from talking to Karen. He just like applied the same logic of Kambaru in the basketball group with like in the void they were filling there and how that, you know, because that's a big part of the basketball group's like distress with each other. He just compared that to the Fire Sisters breaking up, but that didn't actually do anything for us. Anyways, so 100 basketball girls. 5 of them are missing. We brute forced the rest. They're all good. They're all not vampires. Which means the vampire has to be either within the 5, which I'm about to explain, and shout out the comment for throwing that out as an idea, or it's something else entirely, right? There's something else entirely. It could be Shinobu. I don't think that makes any sense, so I'm going to get rid of that. Could be Deathtopia. I don't know why she would do that. So unless there was a deeper plan with Hachikuji, then that doesn't make sense, and it's just not going to be anyone else, right? Which then leads us back to the 5. For it to be one of the 5 girls are missing, right? 4 mummies have been found. That means the 5th missing girl has to be the vampire, right? Or could be the vampire, right? That would make sense. And then if they all look the same with the same hair, then any of them could have been each other, low key. That would be. I'm willing to take that leap of logic. In which case, that missing the 5th one could be any of the 5. And then just faked their own mummification by planting their phone, right? And so, yeah, I think that would work. And so Kay could be running around. It's just all the other basketball people are accounted for, it seems. And then Deathtopia, I don't know why she would do this to herself. I don't know why she would be snacking on girls, you know? That's been kind of cut away. So it does really just leave. It has to be one of the 5. And then there's 4 mummies, so it has to be the 5th. And then the 5th can be any of them because the commenter said what they said, and I agree with it, you know? So that's where I'm at with that. That it's just K. I'm just gonna say K because K is the name that like comes to mind the most. But it could be any of the 5, right? And K is the one that met Deathtopia, so if something happened, it had to have happened with K. K is the one that wanted to have oddity shit happen. Maybe she just became a true vampire herself. Maybe Deathtopia didn't even do anything, but K was just like, no, shit, I always wanted to get odditied. You know, she doesn't know the word oddity, but she's like, oh, vampires are real? Bet. I don't know. But some shit, right? You know, it could have been a more isolated thing than that intentional from Deathtopia, or at least wouldn't have required Deathtopia to bite them. Yeah. So I guess the theory is right now that Hachikuji told Deathtopia about the girls because they were lost. Maybe. That's kind of a maybe. Deathtopia goes and meets up with the girl, she introduces, which makes it clear that she wants to meet the girl, meets Kay, and then that interaction leads to Kay becoming a vampire of sorts, maybe not exactly, but of sorts. Doesn't necessarily require a blood bite because just the knowledge of oddities mixed with those negative emotions could have maybe done something in and of itself, though it likely would have required a blood bite. It's just a maybe, right? A possible explanation. And then the other Kombaru haired people, the people that are trying to look like Kombaru, even if there's no official fan club, I could see that some of them maybe are still like trying to live up to Kombaru, and that's, you know, why they are so unhappy and whatever. So maybe that's why she targeted who she targeted, because she also knew that they were unhappy or something. And basically, yeah, that's the situation. That's what I got right now. I'm really curious what Shinobu will say of what do you think humans are? What are humans to you? That's a really interesting question, considering all that's happened. Especially as a follow-up. Ooh. Especially because she just said apparitions are unchanging and universal. And then Araragi asks a question that he's already gotten an answer from her to. He asks a question that he already has heard her answer. And so if she gives a different answer, then she's just gone against her previous statement about apparitions being unchanging and universal. Because if she answers differently, then her answer changed, not unchanging, you know? Obviously, she's a kind of an extreme case because of the whole, her whole relationship with Araragi and, like, you know, kind of the entire plot. Makes her a very unique apparition. So you could just kind of hand wave it like that. But it's a very interesting follow-up of the point of not changing to ask a question to see if the answer's changed. That's a really interesting move from Araragi. And so I'm not surprised that she didn't immediately answer, because maybe answering anything differently would be verbalizing a different answer would be bad. Like, bad for her as an apparition in some way. And so, you know, even if she feels different, verbalizing that difference and admitting it could maybe hoe her in some regard as an apparition. Oh, I liked this too. The little, like, these are just all the covers, right? I kind of want to look at all the covers. I don't think I've ever really looked at all the covers like that well. My goodness, bro. So this is Bake here, dude. These are crazy. No wonder this show has such a reputation, bro. Senjuko Heart looks pretty normal. Why is Hachikuji posed like that, bro? Why is she like leaning up against her backpack and doing like a one of the Hachikuji, calm freaking down. Kombaru is looking more respectful than you. That's crazy that Kombaru is looking like that. Freaking Nadeko is in the swimsuit, you know, thighs and everything. I really like the Nadeko in here. With a snake in the water. That looks pretty cool. That's probably the best designed of the first couple. Hanakawa is just Hanakawaing it up. The cat on the sign I really like there. The cat ears. Shinobu just got her feet in frame. All the other ones are in the background. Kombaru's hand, Hachikuji's backpack, Hanakawa's ears. What is? Oh, and then Nadeko's hat is in the foreground. And then we got Karen, and all Karen one. These are fun too. I like the Tsukihi one here, like the Blood Moon. Then we got the like Tsubasa Family. I think this is. I forget the name of this arc. Tsubasa Tiger, literally peak fiction. That's a really good one again. I guess these two combined. Dang, Hanakawa kind of got a gyat, respectfully, with consent. Damn! Sorry. Love you. Love you, my darling. You're not real. Sorry, you're not my darling, but I love you. Anyways, Hachikuji looking at a snail's cute. Grown-up Hachikuji eating an apple. That's kind of a spoiler, no? When you're reading, you pick up the page and you're like, that's weird, and then you read it, and no, spoiler. Aren't these the covers? Nadeko crawling on desks. Nadeko is a god. Kid Shop backstory. 3 of them. Oh, I've seen this one before. I've seen these 2 before. Kombaru dunking. Hana Monogatari. Numachi, my beloved. Ononoki. This is a cute one with the, I like that little dragon in the background. I like the black dresses. That's cool. Ogi at the bottom. Sodachi. Oh, freaking the other servant dude. The other minion. I forgot his name. So I'm just having fun looking at all of these right now. I'm not even like commentating. I'm just like, hey, aren't these pretty pictures? Pretty pictures. You know what I mean? What the? Oh, this is the yeah. Because when they went to the the place where you look at stars and shit. What is that called? The space center. They went to like the space place. Araragi and Senjugahara on their like date. Ooh, I didn't notice this one of Araragi with Ogi, Owari Monogatari, whatever. The blood. That's a cool shot of the blood. And then these are cute. I like these. Oh, this is Mirror. The mirror one. That's why Sodachi looks like that, because that was her in the mirror stuff. Not real. You're not real, fake Sodachi. I saw you. I saw you for the skinwalker that you were. Sorry. You could argue that it was her real emotions that had been that had stayed in the area or whatever, but I interpreted her as Aragi's imagination or some shit, right? Or like what he wanted her to be, and like that being the reverse or some shit. I don't know. Go back and watch those videos if you can stand them, and you can see. It's also cool in the reflection. You can see her longer hair there. Anyways, that was fun to look at. Oh yeah, these pieces of jewelry. Did they actually make these? Because yeah, it's like cat, crab, snail, cat, snakes, a phoenix, bee. Is that just a dude? That's just a dude. Young Araragi too. I like Young Araragi's thing. I was literally just Owari's episode 1. I was talking about earlier in this video. I literally was talking about this shit. I don't need friends because if I make friends, my strength as a human decreases. You know what's crazy? I just had a moment of introspection. Crazy moment of introspection. Put down your phone and listen up for a second. Actually, no. Get back on your phone. I don't like that much attention getting thrown my direction because it puts me on too much. It puts too much spotlight on me. Okay, I'm pleasant background noise. Okay, if you're full focusing on every word I'm saying, that kind of intimidates me. So I think I prefer if I'm just like on another monitor. I prefer it. Okay, shut the fuck. Talk about Monogatari, you stupid fool. Anyways, my strength as a human decreases if I make friends. The funny thing is, like, I think I've like very much vied for like self-love and independence. You know. Where like I firmly believe that like if everybody I knew forgot who I was and I got dropped in a random city, that I could like survive and be happy, you know? I could just make new friends, right? That's like one of my core beliefs. It makes me very non-reliant on the people around me because everyone's replaceable. I know that's kind of a dark thing to say, but if everybody's replaceable, that means that if I'm spending time with you, that I appreciate you and I want to spend time with you despite you being replaceable. So I think that actually enhances the value of the time I spend with other people. My point being that he sees like it's a little different, but like his independence is something that makes him strong, or at least that's what the thought was. But if anything, I think my independence might make me weak, or like in a way, like going back to what I was saying at the beginning of this video, where I mean, I don't know if that's even true necessarily. Something about how, like, I'm, like, being... Yeah, well, no, that's exactly the thought, right? Because that's what the Hachikuji idea was that if you're alone, or you're weak, and you love your weakness, and then... But what if there's somebody that you care about that doesn't want you to be weak? Then you can be strong for them, right? And the example was, like, Hachikuji was in frame. I think he was talking about Senjugahara when he said that, though. That's what Ararage was saying in the Owari thing. So it's like the thought that your connections with other people will give you a reason to be strong. And otherwise you're weak. Right? I'm so close. It's so close to connecting my brain, but my brain's not quite wanting to connect it. I'm trying to apply to my own life. Give me a second. Stop looking at me. Just go get on your phone for a second. Unless I'm on your phone already, then just like give me 5 seconds. Because if I'm independent, I think my independence makes me weak. And so I conjoin with others to make me strong. Oh, and that's the character development from his thought here of I don't need friends because if I make friends, my strength as a human decreases. It's true that if you make friends, your strength as a human decreases, but then your friends and your relationship to them is how you get strong again. Because then you're not strong by yourself for yourself by not needing friends, and you're establishing strength through independence. You're cutting that away and you're replacing it with having strength through relationships with others, right? And so you have to sacrifice your independence to do that somewhat. That's, I think, where the clash is with myself, because I value independence so much that the idea of being strong for someone else makes me uncomfortable, because I'd rather be strong for myself in order to be less reliant on other people. However, maybe you can be strong for other people generally, instead of being strong for specific people. So you're strong because you know other people would want you to be strong, but not any person specifically. So it keeps it self-contained within yourself, because then it's your view on the external world as opposed to a specific person in the external world. Send. That's the thought. Okay. I knew it was in there somewhere. Yeah. That's an interesting idea. Okay. Anyways. Yap Sesh concluded. On to the next. Not actually. That's like my outro. I just wanted to skim through the episode a little bit more. Dude, Kiss Shot is such... Or not Kiss Shot. Oh my goodness. The things I would let Deathtopia do to me. Like... Please, man. Sorry. Listen. I'm just saying. Her adult form, most attractive character in Monogatari. It's rare that I become lusted in Monogatari. That's rare. I'm lusted in Monogatari. Let me tell you about it. Where's Sodachi? Don't assume you'll survive the night. Sodachi! Don't say that! Failed to secure the third slave. Oh wait, so what did he say about Konru? Lend me your house for the night. Okay. So that's why we're doing that. Instead of meeting at the hospital. Cool. What was the other thing he said about Sodachi? He said Oikura at a separate point. Oikura. Right here. If I have free time after that, I'll go play with Oikura for a while. I'll go see Karen and Kambaru to ask a few things. And then play with Sodachi for a bit if I can otherwise. So, this was here. And then he went and saw Karen. And then... he met up with Hachikuji. And... met up with Kambaru. What was the favor here? Oh, did we not get to see the favor? Hey, can I, like... Sorry. Hey, can I, like, raise a vampire in your house? That's a good favor. Okay, interesting thing is that he said that if he had the time, that he would hang out with Sodachi, but, we didn't see that. So, either he hung out with Sodachi and we didn't get to see it, which might mean that it becomes relevant later and then it becomes a flashback later, or he didn't hang out with Sodachi. But it is on the table that he hung out with Sodachi, spent time with Sodachi, or is, like, that's still something, that's an unresolved thing that he said, so that could become relevant. We'll want to keep an eye out for that. Yeah. I do like how they just laugh when they meet each other, and she's like, crazy that I died again, huh? Aww, look at the way they're looking at each other. They love each other. She's not gonna eat Shinobu. Or, like, whoever said that was smoking crack, by the way. That's just not gonna happen, bro. If I'm wrong about that, then I'm the fool. You know what I mean? I'm the fool. But I just can't be. Like, there's no way that she just wanted to come meet up with her. She was worried about her friend. I think more than she's a gourmet, she cares about Shinobu, Kiss Shot, Acerola, you know? more than being a gourmet. I think she has grown like an attachment, right? Yeah. Maybe that's just my heart yearning, right? The yearning of the beating of my Yuri heart or whatever. But that's just kind of how I think I gotta go. And then the FC was fan club. Yeah. So, and the fan club I think just relates to each of the basketball mummies have been people with Komburu's hairstyle, which means that they are like reforming the basketball club or still like a fans of maybe of Komburu, despite the club having been like destroyed. Some thought like that, or maybe they're the fan of something else. Maybe it's a Higasa fan club or some shit, right? Who knows? But Higasa has different hair, so it's kind of it's got to be Komburu because of the short hair, you know. I feel like that was kind of the plot point about them having short hair. So yeah, unsure of where this is going. I've thrown out a couple ideas, so it's hopefully one of those. But you know, Monogatari is notoriously hard to predict. Cough cough, 2 Ogies, cough cough. But yeah, good episode. I mean, I do love this show. You know I've been on break Andy. That doesn't mean that I hate. Somebody said the other day, like, I thought he just hated Monogatari or some shit. No, I don't hate Monogatari, bro. I love Monogatari, okay? I literally love this shit. Listen, like, I'm thinking about this shit even if I'm not watching it. And precisely the things I'm thinking about are why I'm not watching it in a lot of ways, you know? Shinobu, stop looking at me like that. Okay, sorry. Anyways, that's the end of this episode, I'm thinking. I've been recording for an hour and 53 minutes. It's kind of a long back to recording sesh. You know, maybe I should have done something a little simpler, but that's okay. That's the fun part of Monogatari. On to the next show, be exciting. Episode 13. There's not that many left, which is very sad, but I am excited to watch them. That's the nice thing, is that me being slow means I've stretched it out. Like a delicious stretchy treat. A stretchy treat? What is a stretchy treat? Like, I was thinking like a chewy candy, but you could say that about like a crazy things. Anyways, on to the next show, be exciting. Episode 13. Of course, if you like the video, subscribe. If you're new, blah, 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 comment below if you have anything to say, or join the Discord and talk to me or other Monogatari fans there. Link in the description. Shout out the Patreon too. Shout out notification bell. Shout out Instagram. Shout out all this shit that I usually don't shout out. On to the next show, be exciting. I'll be seeing you there.